Funny. We're trying new things tonight. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Talawanda High School Performing Arts Center, this beautiful space where we have the opportunity to showcase the talents and the efforts, everything that these students have been working towards right here tonight. And we get to share with you everything they've been doing. They've been working hard and doing a wonderful job. We have 4 pieces to play for you tonight. We're going to start with Skeleton Waltz and follow that with the Halloween theme, and then we'll introduce the other 2. So let's hear another round of applause for these guys, and here we go. I think you need to grab one out of the room. I'll stall.
Thank you.
Okay, no way. Okay. I'm going to talk on the microphone just for a moment while we get another chair set up. I do want to take a moment. In your program, you see that we have thanked our building administrators at the high school and the middle school. We always have those on there. We have a listing of our music faculty, and I think it's always important to recognize that not just one person, I say this at band concerts as well, jazz band, steel band, not one person has invested in these guys' music education. Our elementary teachers and our middle school teachers have also helped develop these young people. Many of them have private lesson teachers. Many of you are musicians yourselves and have helped them learn these instruments. So I want to be sure that I'm definitely sharing the credit for all this, especially with Christine Shumway. She is fantastic and does a wonderful job with these students. We really appreciate having her in our district and community, and I think we're ready to go. All right, our next piece is La Llorona, and La Llorona is, in Latin American folklore, is the weeping woman or the wailing woman, and the story is told a lot of different ways. Basically, she's a woman who has drowned her children, or somebody drowned her children. The story goes that it could be because her husband was cheating on her. It could be because he was an aristocrat and was going to steal the children away. She's said to be in the trees in certain cultures. In some places she's said to be near the water, but she wails and she's sad and she's missing her children. So she's trying to gather up more children. That's how it gets scary. La Llorona. And this is a very beautiful version of this piece of music. It's also in the movie Coco, if you've seen the movie Coco, the animated hit. And a few years ago, I had purchased a medley of a bunch of pieces from Coco, and one day my wife had gone to work, I think it was during my spring break, and she got home and she said, "What'd you do today?" I said, "Well, I watched the movie Coco again." And she said, "Why would you do that?" It's research, I gotta make sure I know the tunes. So anyway, here we go, La Llorona. All right, so our final piece is the Brandenburg Concerto, and I want to thank you once again for coming out this evening. I want to thank you for having your young people be involved in positive activities like orchestra, like all the positive things we have here at Talawanda. I really appreciate that. We have things like this for them to do. We know that as parents and community members, we know, grandparents, we know that young people have a lot of energy and they're going to do things with that energy. So it's our responsibility as the adults in their lives to provide positive things for them to do with themselves, like music, like athletics, like mock trial, and et cetera, like all of these clubs and activities. So it's good for us to have them be involved in all of that. Finally, we were going to play the Brandenburg Concerto No. 3, Movement 1, abridged version in G major, which is the original key of this. So the Brandenburg Concertos were a series of 6 concertos written for different combinations of instruments, small combinations, not a full orchestra like this. There was one I just learned a moment ago for the viola da gamba, right, for 2 of them, Yes, one was written for a harpsichord, which is something that was purchased by Christian Ludwig Margrave, who he presented these pieces to in 1721. Everybody say 1721. Everybody say 1721. Right. That's Brandenburg Concerto. Now you're ready for trivia. You're ready for that. That one question, you'll nail it, and people will be impressed. Okay. So anyway, 1721, he presented it. They were written at different times. One of them maybe 1713. Anyway, 1721 is when they were presented to Christian Ludwig Margrave, a name I read several times before coming out here, so I could remember it. And they're really very nice. Now this version is, as I said, in G major, which is the original key. It really isn't a Halloween theme at all. We just really felt like we should do a classical piece of some sort. But let me throw this out here for parents and grandparents to make you shiver just a little bit. Johann Sebastian Bach, the composer of this, had 20 children. Wow. I know, I only have 2 and they're expensive. 20 children, that is a lot of children. So you can think about that as we play this for you. Brandenburg Concerto number 3, movement 1 of Beethoven. There's only a few more children on this stage right now. Thank you very much, everybody. Another round of applause, please, for these students. They've done such a wonderful job. Thank you. Now we just need to pack it up, and then we can all get some ice cream or something. All right.